how the volume is working and everything else. I'm in a different spot than normal. I'm on my way to the gym, but I wanted to have a conversation with y'all about what is actually going on with Walmart and these peaceful protests, not just in LA, but literally across the entire country. So I want to jump into that. But again, I just want to make sure that you guys can hear me. I'm going to wait for somebody to say yes. Normally somebody will jump in and give me a thumbs up or a 5x5 so I know what's going on. And then we're going to get into the nitty gritty of everything that's happening, especially because you need to know what happens in technically 4 days, which I probably should have. Holly, thank you. I probably should have put that in the title, that you have 4 days before all of this goes absolute haywire in this country. So we talked here maybe in March 23rd, 24th, 25th, somewhere around that time. I don't know if y'all remember, if you were here for it, where we talked about how the heir to the Walmart fortune placed an ad in the New York Times that was supposed to be like a bipartisan kind of ad because now she's trying to get into government. And instead it came across very Trump divisive is how I like to phrase that. So I was scrolling social media yesterday, as I have a tendency to do while I'm using the restroom, because what else are you going to do while you're in the bathroom, right? So I'm scrolling social media and I see this post from Hodge Twins over on X, and it has a picture of what looks to be the exact same post from March from the Walmart heir, whatever her name is, which I can't remember to save my life right now. Hold on, I have my notes, but I'm very slow this morning. Christy Walton. She placed an ad in March for, like I told you. So then Hodge Twins posted a picture that looked exactly like the ad from March, except for this one had the word "No Kings" across the top of it. And it's still the Statue of Liberty, but instead of holding the flame, it was a picture of a crown with like a mark through it. And I was like, is this real? Because I recognize everything else looked real. So then I go to Grok and I asked Grok, I said, hey, listen, was there actually an ad taken out in the June 8th, 2025 issue of the New York Times? Was there actually an ad taken out by Christy Walton? And Grok is like, well, I have no definitive answer on that. I can't tell you if there was or not. So I'm doing all this research, trying to find out if it's actually real, because I don't have a physical copy of the New York Post or New York Times in my hands, right? So I go looking for it. And I want to show you guys, let me see if I can get my email back up here because, you know, iPads and how they work. The original post from Christy Walton, which I should have saved to show you guys. Hold on. Christy Walton, look, I'm half-assed on this morning, and I do apologize. It's because I was going to do this later, and I decided that we needed to have this conversation now. Christy Walton ad March 2025. Hold on. I want to show you the picture of it so that the rest of this makes more sense, and it didn't occur to me to save it earlier. I don't know why. Sometimes my brain does its job and sometimes it's absolute horseshit. Here is the original post. If it will pull up, I'm also in really crappy service. So this is the original post. It's going to be backwards, but this is the original post that Christy Walton had put in the New York Times in March of this year. And she is the Walmart heiress. Remember, she was married to not Sam Walton. It's technically his daughter-in-law. What's her husband's name? And then he died and she inherited all of his millions of billions of dollars, right? So this was the ad that went out. And I told you guys about it then. I said, it's interesting that someone who is associated with Walmart is posting this ad. And this one, when it went out in March, it said USA, USA, USA. And you can see it's a Statue of Liberty holding the flame, right? And it says, we are a people of principle and honor. We honor our commitments and stand by our allies. We defend against aggression by dictators. We uphold and defend the Constitution. We care for veterans and children. We respect our neighbors and trading partners. We support a healthy national and international economy, community, and environment. We are the world leader trusted to uphold the stability of rule of law. And then underneath it says, we are the people of the United States of America. The honor, dignity, and integrity of our country is not for sale. Show up, attend your town halls, be civil. And it came across as a very, depending on how you were looking at it, as a negative against Trump because it mentioned the trades, and she has a hand with Walmart, and Walmart was going to have to go through all these tariffs and everything with China because of the tariff deals that President Trump was putting into place, right? And this was paid for by Christy Walton, who is, I mean, if she's paying for it, this is technically Walmart money that's going into this, because you can't separate the two. She is the Walmart heiress. Therefore, when she's posting a political ad, it is almost like Walmart is part of this, because it's very hard to separate the two in your mind, right? So then I see this post from Hodge Twins, and it's a completely different picture, which I should show you that one so you guys understand what I'm talking about. Let's see, Hodge Twins, Hodge Twins. I can type today. Hodge Twins. Come on, you can do it. So this is the one that showed up instead. It's the exact same looking post, but the top of it says No Kings, June 14th, mobilize. And again, they've got the crown with the X or the mark through it, right? And it's the exact same words. We are the people, blah, 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 blah. And then there's a QR code at the bottom of it. So then I'm trying to find this ad. And once again, everything I see is a repost on Facebook or over on X. And I can't find anywhere where it's actually real, right? So the way my brain works, you guys can see the page right next to it. The last words are Hong Kong. So then I get on the good old World Wide Web, and I try to figure out what page of the New York Times has Hong Kong as the article, right? So I find out that that's on A8 in the New York Times. So then I go try to find the New York Times, and I pull up here. I'm going to show you. So I pull up the New York Times, their online version of their paper one, if it will work. Come on, you can do this. I promise you. It's going very slow, but this is the New York Times. Okay. I have it on my iPad here. So then I go and I'm looking for A8, which is the Hong Kong one, right? Scroll, scroll, scroll. So there you see is Hong Kong right there, and sure as shit, that is a real post. You guys can see it's hard. It won't let me enlarge it because I didn't pay for it. So it won't enlarge it, but this is that Hong Kong article, and sure as shit, there is that post, that new ad from Christy Walton, which is absolutely true, right? So the one she did in March seemed to be, in my opinion, negative against Trump. Well, this one here is 100% negative against Trump, because what it is it's a link to the thing called nokings.org. And so I went and pulled it up to see exactly what was going on with No Kings. And this is the website that comes up. It says, in America, we don't do kings. It says they've defied our courts, deported Americans, disappeared people off the streets, attacked our civil rights, and slashed our services. The corruption has gone too far. No thrones, no crowns, no kings. But then it says, on June 14th, we rise up, and there is a map of all the places where they are planning to have peaceful protests. Now, once again, the fact that this is paid for by Christy Walton of Walmart is just, I don't know what she's thinking when she does this, because this is clearly an attack on our current government. This is clearly an attack on the citizens of the United States of America. I mean, she technically is calling for the peaceful protest, which we've seen exactly how peaceful it's been in LA. Now it's happening in Texas and Arizona. I think Arizona is the other state where they're having these peaceful protests. But here it says, find an event near you on the map below for a special note on Washington, D.C. Click here. But it gives you the ability to host an event. And then look, upcoming calls and trainings. So this whole entire website is absolutely crazy to me. So today is June 10th. Today it says No King's Day Town Hall. This is join AFT President Randy Weingarten for a special town hall on June 10th at 6 p.m. Eastern to prepare for No King's Day on June 14th, which happens to be President Trump's birthday. Together, we'll get ready to organize, mobilize, and build power for the future. Build power for the future? This feels real insurrectionist, if you ask me. And then there's all these things to register now. There's another one, another Zoom meeting at 7 p.m. today. Then they have it in Spanish, because obviously that makes perfect sense. There's one on Wednesday. I mean, they have them all over the place, all these different things. And then this one here says No King's call for veterans and military families. And then event attendee pre-mobilization mass call. What's next in the fight mass call. So it's this whole entire thing is absolutely crazy to me. And this is, I'm going to read you the about for those of you who don't know what this is. It says, about No Kings. On June 14th, Flag Day, President Trump wants tanks in the streets and a made-for-TV display of dominance for his birthday. Now, if you were here yesterday, which I wasn't here yesterday, the day before, I showed you guys the video of all the tanks being moved into D.C. for the parade, right, for Flag Day parade, which does happen to coincide with Trump's birthday. And I said that the timing of all of these tanks being brought in to D.C. at the exact same time that you have these peaceful protests, which have turned into looting and like straight up riots and burning of police cars and throwing bricks at police officers and all kinds of stuff. The same time the tanks are being moved into DC is very ironic to me. And then you go over here and you see that it is the same day that those tanks are moving to DC is the same day that this No Kings thing is going on. Those tanks are going to come in handy, all right? It says, a spectacle meant to look like strength, but real power isn't staged in Washington. It rises up everywhere else. No Kings is a nationwide day of defiance. From city blocks to small towns, from courthouse steps to community parks, we're taking action to reject authoritarian, this is a big word, authoritarianism, and show the world what democracy really looks like. We're not gathering to feed his ego. We're building a movement that leaves him behind. The flag doesn't belong to President Trump. It belongs to us. We're not watching history happen. We're making it. On June 14th, we're showing up everywhere he isn't to say no thrones, no crowns, no kings, which is crazy to me because here they are saying the flag doesn't belong to President Trump. The American flag belongs to the American people. And right now at these peaceful protests, we're watching these people set the American flag on fire. How are you going to sit here and try to say that what you're doing is to help democracy while you're burning the flag of the United States of America, the same country that you live in, and you're claiming that you're doing this to help that country, this country, to save its democracy? Listen, that's crazy to me. Absolutely crazy to me. It says a core principle behind all No Kings events is a commitment to nonviolent action. Bullshit. We expect all participants to seek to de-escalate any potential confrontation with those who disagree with our values and to act lawfully at these events. Weapons of any kind, including those legally permitted, should not be brought to events. Now, of course, they have to say that, but that's not going to happen. You cannot put a massive group of people together in numerous places that is designed to incite anger amongst the citizens and amongst the government, and then expect it to stay peaceful and expect them to stay peaceful. There's no, this is not going to go over well. So June 14th, wherever you happen to be, stay your ass inside. That's really all I have for y'all is stay your ass inside on June 14th, which, again, I hate using those words because that feels real, 2 or 3 years ago of, don't leave your house, stay inside for 2 weeks, quarantine, whatever. But this is crazy to me. I can understand not agreeing with something that your president does, but to make a nationwide protest that is not going to be peaceful, that is going to turn violent, as it's been doing in LA, as it's doing in Texas, and I'm pretty sure Arizona is the other place right now. They turn violent every single time. This is crazy. And for the heiress of Walmart to be posting it, to take out an ad in the New York Times about it, are you effing kidding me? Let's see if I can pull it back up, because that, I don't understand how Walmart is going to save face with this. Number one, do they have the ability to remove her from any position in Walmart? I don't know. It's just absolutely ridiculous. I'm trying to see if it'll pull, this thing is slow as hell. So I'm just trying to see if it'll pull back up again. I want to get back to that ad. Let's see. And it does say paid for by Christy Walton. I just wanted to double check before I continue running my mouth about this. I wanted to double check that was her ad. And although I can't make it any larger for y'all to see, hello, work with me here, iPad. It does, this thing is being crazy. It does say paid for by Christy Walton at the bottom. Walmart's going to have a lot of explaining to do when any of this stuff on June 14th goes left, which is the irony of that's the phrase, when it goes left, because that's exactly what it is. It's lefties that are out there losing their ever-loving mind over this kind of stuff. And I've had people in comments in the live streams and comments afterwards, they're like, I can't believe you don't see how destructive this is for families and whatever else. And I don't understand it, because it's weird to me to put your family in that situation and then get mad when the consequences for your actions are there, right? Like when you have to have, you can't do things and expect there to never be consequences. If I rob a store, I expect my ass to go to jail. If I run a red light, I expect to get a ticket. If I do certain things, I expect consequences for my actions. So why are we upset? Because I'm not. Why are we upset that the people who came here illegally and have done illegal things are now facing consequences for their actions? Why are we, and not we, but them, marching in the streets for, our country, trying to, one, take its money back, take its jobs back, take its houses back, you know what I mean? It's crazy to me. I don't understand it. And I don't know if it's wrong that I don't understand it, or if that's what makes me right because I don't understand it. You know what I mean? Like, I try to look at everything from every single side, and I can understand people who are upset. I can understand them being upset, but that's because they've been brainwashed into being upset, not because they're actually upset. I saw that one of the people at the protest yesterday is, I don't remember her real name, Jodie Sweetin. She was in Full House back in the day, and I watched Full House when I was little. My daughter watched Full House. Like, we used to love Full House because Uncle Jesse was a hottie, right? And we used to love Full House. But Jodie Sweetin's out there with a mask on and her hair up and a hat on, trying to look incognito so that people don't know that it's her. But there's celebrities out in this mix that are kind of pushing it, right? And when you have Walmart money putting out the ads to... Sorry, I'm trying not to hiccup. When you have Walmart money out there putting out ads to mobilize on June 14th to protest the government wanting to take America back to what it was 4 years ago, that's crazy to me. And the whole, what is it, Kamala and all them, we're not going back. That's the stupidest effing thing I've ever heard. And I don't know. It blows my mind. And sometimes I'm literally just speechless, which, doesn't really happen that often. I normally can run my mouth about anything, but it makes me speechless. There's nothing planned for where I am, which, I mean, we're predominantly red here. Yeah, there's a blue speckle or two every once in a while, but we are predominantly red where I live. And I see that the Glassman's World said, stop shopping at Walmart. That's the hard part. For so many people, Walmart is the option. Walmart is the only option. And to be able to say, don't go there anymore, it's almost impossible for a lot of people. And I see somebody in here saying they're left, and are they wrong for being left? No. I mean, I used to be a lefty. I talk about all the time. I am a reformed libtard all day long. And it's only because I realized that I was being played by media before. And now media still tries to play me, obviously, left and right. The mainstream media, no matter what side you're on, they're going to try to play you and play into your emotions and play into your ignorances and all these other things. So now you, as a person, you just have to be a little bit smarter and try to figure out what's real and what's not. Just like I think the Elon and Trump thing is all staged 100%. I think that what the left is doing is also being pushed by big money. It's not like these people are just randomly showing up. Obviously, big money is pushing it. Walmart put out a fucking ad for it. So obviously, big money is behind all of this kind of stuff, right? And it really shows you that money does make the world go round. How what's the phrase? The root of all evil is the love of money, or for the love of money is the root of all evil, something like that. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. Now, you could look at this from the conspiracy theorist portion of it, which I also happen to do, and look at the fact that now you have in the one big beautiful bill, there's a ton of money set in there to help with the ICE deportations, because right now there's technically not enough money to fund everything that President Trump wants to do across this nation when it comes to moving people out, right? To deporting illegal immigrants. There's not enough money to actually do all the stuff that they want to do. And so in the one big beautiful bill, there's a chunk in there to up the payments for I don't really know how it's phrased, but building more ICE detention centers or bringing in more people who can help with the deportations or whatever else. And now when you see these riots, because that's what it is, it's not a fucking peaceful protest in LA. They will show you that one section where there's people walking down the street and not show you the part where everything is burning and they are looting sushi restaurants. Only in LA would you loot a sushi restaurant. Like, who does that? Anyway, you will notice that the more, and I said this on the last live stream, the more we see this kind of stuff happening, the more we are likely to vote for and push for the deportations. The more it gives you that fatigue, whatever fatigue you want to call it. They were pushing black fatigue for the longest, like that was a thing. Well, right now it's riot fatigue. It's illegal immigrant fatigue. It's whatever fatigue you want to call it. It's destruction of American cities fatigue, right? So you see all this happening. I said it goes in line with the travel ban. At the same time, it makes you want to agree with the travel ban that President Trump put into place at midnight on Monday, on the 9th. And now you see all this stuff happening. You see what they're going to do on June 14th. It also makes you want to have them say yes to the one big beautiful bill because it has more money to help with the deportation. Because right now there's not enough ICE agents or anybody else to really control or keep in control what's going on, which is why LA has gotten as buck wild as it has, because there's not enough. Even if you deploy 4,000 National Guardsmen, even if you have the military, even if you have Marines, even if you have helicopters out there, it's not enough for what they are trying to do, right? So now you have people who are going to be pushing for the one big beautiful bill, which again, I said the whole thing between Elon and Trump was to really push through what he wanted versus what he didn't want. And people are going to look at the extra money for the illegal immigration reform and forget about the AI stuff that's in there because you focus on what's in front of your face. So now instead of people talking about the AI, which we talked about a couple of days ago, and how there's a thing in the one big beautiful bill that for 10 years, the states have no control over AI and AI can pretty much do anything, which is effing terrifying. Instead of focusing on that, now we're going to be focusing on the fact there's a lot of money in the one big beautiful bill to help with this illegal immigration, to bring our cities back to sanity, to bring them back to, non-chaos. And it is always a look over here, not over there. And I don't like saying that both sides are playing the game, but both sides are playing the game. You guys will say all the time, two feathers of the same bird, or whatever y'all call it, yeah. One bird, two feathers. I don't know. There's a phrase. Y'all know it. But that's what it comes down to, that at the end of the day, the left and the right, no matter how much you like anyone on either side, they all technically kind of sort of have to work together in some way, shape, or form to get the things that they want. The left has to concede to the right sometimes to get what they want. The right has to concede to the left sometimes to get what they want. The whole point, though, is that we should be working together, right? The left and the right should be working together. But why we are where we are is because we've been so far apart, because the left and the right have done everything humanly possible to pit each other against each other instead of find a way to work together. With President Trump at the helm, I personally was hoping that that would be a way to bridge the divisiveness that has occurred over the last 4 years, and that we would have younger people coming in, and that we would have people who were more open-minded to things in the sense of understanding why we as citizens want our resources for our citizens and not for other people, right? You would think that after seeing everything that's been going on, that more people would want to work together for that. But again, unfortunately, mainstream media and the left is still pushing this massive divide. And let me bring this up. So John Fetterman, he's been real popular lately. A lot of people talking about him. We've talked about him numerous times. And he said, oh, come on. I want to bring this up to you guys right now. Where's what he said? He posted yesterday. This is John Fetterman's post. Okay, you guys, it's backwards. I know because of, wait, where'd it go? No, come back. There, U.S. Senator John Fetterman. He posted this yesterday. He said, I unapologetically stand for free speech, peaceful demonstrations, and immigration, but this is not that. This is anarchy and true chaos. My party loses the moral ground when we refuse to condemn setting cars on fire, destroying buildings, and assaulting law enforcement, which is the truest thing that you can say. This is in the streets of Los Angeles, in LA. what the actual crap, right? There's so many videos, which I will not show because at some point in time, YouTube is going to decide that showing these videos is going to get channels deleted. And I feel real bad for people out there. I know Matt Morse on YouTube, he's been doing live streams for 6 to 12 hours, showing people these things as it's going on. And I'm really worried for his channel because YouTube does not like to show violence. And this is technically violence. And I believe it's going to end up hurting him later on. I hope it's not. Fingers crossed that he is safe from this. But YouTube is a fickle motherfucker, like, and they are very left. So on top of that, they are not going to want all of this stuff going through, which is why I title the things I do the way I do. And I don't put things in my thumbnails because I'm not trying to get canceled by YouTube. The other one that I had seen, where is it? So there's the picture that's going around also where it shows on January 6th, the people walking through, where they're trying to say it was a riot, right? Just peacefully walking through the, brain can't work on the name of the building, versus what they're now calling peaceful protest of cars set on fire. And it's a massive difference. The left called January 6th a riot and all these other things, but they're calling the setting on fire of cars and the throwing of bricks at police officers' heads, the shutting down of freeways, they're calling those things peaceful protests. And it's absolutely the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard in my entire life. And I'm trying to see, I can't find one of the things. I thought I'd saved one, but maybe I didn't. Let me pull up my bookmarks. Maybe I have it bookmarked to show you guys. That's the Hodge twins. That's that. I swear I'd saved it because I wanted to show you the massive difference between. No. Oh, but what is interesting, though, is that they're calling Trump a dictator, and that the fact that he sent out the National Guard, they're calling it unprecedented. But a lot of people forget that during the 1992 LA riots, that President George W. Bush mobilized the National Guard, U.S. Army, and U.S. Marines to stop the violent rioters from wrecking Los Angeles. This is not unprecedented. This is not anything new. This is, it happens, and the president is doing what he needs to do to try, in theory, to keep the people in the city safe. It's I don't know if it's enough, because now how is he going to keep all these other cities safe on June 14th when this No Kings bullshit pops off, right? It's going to be a little crazy to me. We're going to do more of this later. I have this whole entire thing. We're going to talk about Newsom and what he's doing, Karen Bass, what she's doing, because they're both effing morons. We're going to bring Kamala back in here, which, and all kinds of stuff. But right now, I'm going to the gym because I need to woo-saw a little bit with some weightlifting and some cardio. So, y'all, I love you immensely. I want to know your thoughts on, is the fact that Christy Walton promoting this No Kings thing, does that tie Walmart to it? Like, in my mind, it does, because it's Walmart money that is pushing her stuff. But is Walmart part of it? Like, at the end of the day, because it's not, I don't know if they can technically stop her, but I would think that as a corporation that she's part of, they would have some say in what her political pushes are. So for her to be able to make that ad, to call for the protesting of our current government, to call for all this stuff, I feel like Walmart has to either come out publicly and condemn Christy Walton for what she's doing. Condemn, is that the right word? Like, non-condone. I don't know if condemn is the right word, so whatever. I feel like they have to make a statement that they have no political ties to Christy Walton. They're not associated with her or something like that. Because if they don't, it says to me that they agree and back her on what she's doing. Anyway, that's what we've got for now, y'all. I love you immensely, and I'm going to see you guys again later. I will see you guys again later today, probably like around between like 5 and 5:30 Central Time. If you guys are interested in another live stream, I'll be there for that. If maybe probably like 5:30. Yeah, another live stream. If you guys are interested, set like a reminder on your calendar or something. If not, it's fine. You can always watch it later. But I hope you have a fabulous day between now and then. And I will see y'all later. Love you very much. Bye-bye. Adios.